What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some crazy stuff. We're going to be spray painting the STI with aerosol cans. So when I bought the car, there's a lot of scratches, road rash, nicks like that. So I just want to get rid of the obvious things, especially the parts that are metal and not plastic, because those have definitely been rusted over. And the faster you get it removed and cleaned up, the better it is for the longevity of your car. So today we're going to be doing a small section. We have to do both bumpers and some parts on the side. So we're going to start with the rear wheel fender. There's a corner with a dent, but I'll show you guys in the video. So yeah, today we're going to be using a bunch of sandpaper, primer, base coat, clear coat, water, Bondo for filler, and tape, paper, towels, a lot of stuff to cover the car. But it's not gonna be too crazy. I think it's a job that we can do DIY and save a bunch of money. So let's see how it turns out, and then if we can do the rest of the car with this method. All right.
I love when it's hot. Turn to the city, I broke all the notch. Got some more millions that keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me.
Say hi, honey. Say hi.
Yo. You can look at me. So we're gonna try and do the same to the front bumper as the back bumper. Or was it the other way around? We're gonna try to do the same to the back bumper as we did the front bumper, which is kind of like sand it and repaint it with the same color. It's been touched up with black and it just looks kind of nasty. So I think we could do a good job with an aerosol can. So the big errors or the big issues, like this end, this corner, I touched a little trim right here too. There's like a line right here, a little spot, and then on this end it's more towards the wheel well. Just like took off the paint clear and then brought it back down to the plastic, so it should be all right. Just gotta smooth it out. So we have the bumper loose. Now we're just going to get it set up to where we can rest it.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna put the bumper on the... Alrighty. In all its glory, definitely get like every messed up spot. Oh, that's it. Okay, so the issue is gonna be how to get this guy banged out from the inside. I don't know what you guys are looking at, but hopefully it's what I think. It's okay, you don't have to get in here, but I am just gonna figure out how to bang this out as much as I can without making it worse. So the first thing we're gonna do, guys, is sand it down. You know, there's like touch up and stuff on it, and some rust sealant. So we're just gonna get it back down to the metal, make sure we got all the rust out. Probably gonna start with, I believe we started with 80 grit, maybe up to 120, and then definitely 180. 180 is probably the most consistent, I'd say, in what we used for this job. But yeah, I just want to get all the rust away, and you know, make sure we start from the bare metal.
Eating all my homies in relationships, and I'm just writing commentary. I signed up for this, I got that down. Will life forever be the hour now? I swear I'm not in no rush. I swear if I never find someone, I'll be good hours. But I've been seeing the changes, I can't ignore what's around me, and I can't help but be scared that she won't even know that she found me when I met the love of my life. She got good head on her shoulders, there ain't no way I'm a type. I got no steady job, I got nothing saved up. I'm chasing stupid dreams, I know I'm dumb in love.
So it doesn't take long. You know, it brings it down to the bare metal pretty fast because you don't have a lot of paint to begin with. But you know, once you're comfortable, you've kind of gone outside of just the damage area, you've ensure that there's no rust, then you just what I'm doing here is applying some rust sealant just to make sure that if there is any leftover, it's not going to spread. It's gonna break it down and kind of like seal over it. So it's always good to just do more than less. Alright, next thing we got is the Bondo. So this is the little paste that you want to use to kind of, you know, fill back a spot on the car. So for example, we can't bang out that corner anymore, so we kind of want to bring it, how to bring it back to a flat surface. We got to add some material. So you're going to have the paste. I wouldn't recommend using cardboard. That was one mistake. I made a few mistakes on this, you know, first go around, but you got your paste out, you add the hardener, which is this little squirt bottle. I'd say like almost a length of how big you went is good enough, and then you want to smear it together using what do you call this, your spreader, your plastic spreader that you use for paint. That's what you want to use, because like a credit card or something like that, you want to press against the paste, mixing with the hardener, and what you're doing is you're really removing any of the air pockets that are going to be built up inside. So when you lay it down, it won't have air, it won't crack as easily, it won't, you know, show any holes or pockets, and then start laying it down.
You changed all of my plans, I saw my future the moment you made me a man, and now I'm just hoping I don't let you down. Can't go back to being lost without you now that I've been found. It can't be easy being on display. I know I put some things in the open. I'm an artist, I don't know no other way. I hope you know there's people that relate. Far from perfect, but we're not our mistakes. When it's time, I'm in a better place. You gon' be the only girl I ever chased. Please bear with me while I grow. I'ma need you with me when I'm old. Don't give up on me yet. Still a lot of story untold. They say when a writer loves you, you can never die. Girl, can you feel me writing songs about you? When I look into your eyes, I swear I'm not.
Alright, so once you got, a good level of Bondo, then you gotta sand it down again. So you want to use 80 grit and then 80 grit then 180. And this is basically what you want the result to look like. It's pretty much flat. A lot of it really, adhered well, and then came out smooth. And then, once it's smooth, then you want to start prepping the area to put down primer and paint.
Okay, I'm ready.
So for primer, you're gonna do 3 coats. Do a little bit more do a little bit more. I guess put down a little bit more each go around. So in total, I'm gonna do 3 go arounds, and start kind of light, check it out, and then you can always apply more the next 2. Okay, so once you let the primer dry for about 15 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, then you want to start wet sanding the primer. You're going to use about maybe 1200 to 1500, and this will get it ready and have a nice smooth but abrasive surface for the base coat. For the base coat, it's going to be the same thing. You want to do at least 3 coats, and then 5 minutes in between each coat. Allow it to dry, but you're not going to do anything after that. You're not going to sand it. You're just going to leave it. If you have any runs, meaning that you oversprayed, paint started dripping down, then you want to back off, let it dry, go back and wet sand it, start over. Start over for the base coat, not the primer step. Alright, so you're going to give the base coat definitely at least 30 minutes. Let it dry. And then, once you come back, maybe a little bit later in the day, then you got to get the clear coat on. So make sure you spray, very spread out. You don't want to concentrate in one area. That'll help you to prevent runs. Also, make sure you are shaking the bottle. That way it doesn't, how do you describe that? Like, sprit? Or like, basically it's the concept of paint is on the surface of where the air is released, and it just splatters. But yeah, guys, as you saw on the bumper, there's a lot more to do. This was probably the most important part, just because it's the only metal surface that needed this kind of work. And it's important to just stop the rust as soon as you know about it. But yeah, it's pretty much done here. We're gonna give it a few days, give it a couple weeks before we buff, because the best angle, I'll show you guys the before and after, but you'll see the orange peels very apparent, and we need to get that down to a flat surface, then polish it to get a shine. So that'll take time, but yeah, this is a pretty good turnout, better than what I expected, and hopefully, you know, even when it's all said and done, it won't even be noticeable, which I highly doubt, but you know.